Chapter 2 in the book is titled You Have to Get Uncomfortable and Take Action, just as a friendly reminder. And the book talks about Claudia and I taking a lot of action, a lot of which was outside of our comfort zone. And I've already touched on this a little bit, but I want to take a little bit of a deep dive on this. I realize that everybody that's on this webinar is at a different place. We're all at a different season in our lives, right? Whether it's the maturity of our company, we have people that have just began their company, people that maybe multi-shop owners, been doing it for years and years. We got people that are different seasons of their marriage, their role as a parent, their spiritual walk. So some of the things I'm going to share with you may seem really basic to you, but maybe they're a reminder. But keep in mind, there's going to be some things that I share that are new to you that are going to be so far over the heads of others that are a different place as well. So bear with me. It's always difficult to tailor a talk identical for such a vast amount of crowd. Okay, I will tell you, and this has been very, very true in my life, is every time I attend one of these events, it's not uncommon to have three of those numbers, and you don't even know it. Three of those numbers all lined up, and by continuing to attend and continuing to attend, and finally, boom, number 4 number comes along, and a sentence, a paragraph, a video, a photo, a connection because I was networking at an event, and all of a sudden, those 3 numbers, that already acquired knowledge that I had, takes off exponentially. So I cannot applaud you and commend you enough for being here, and I also want to encourage you to continue to try and get that 4th number in every area of life and continue to attend these events. Okay, so what's the definition of an expert? Well, I've heard it said that someone from out of town giving advice is an expert, right? So today I get to be the expert because most of you don't live in my town, right? So it's always funny to me. It amazes me how I could be teaching my service advisors in classes that we do, or people within my company, and it seems like they're not getting it. And then somebody else I bring in, either through this platform or live, they do the same teaching of the same content, and they are a genius because all of a sudden it's the epiphany that one of my people has, saying the same thing I've been teaching for a long time, all of a sudden takes roots. So my goal, my prayer would be is maybe something I says takes root that you've heard before. So, and that's okay, right? So what is your goal? We got to ask ourselves that, right? We don't have goals. We don't have ideals of what the ideal scene, as we say in an auto repair shop or a business of any kind. What's the ideal scene? And then we work towards that ideal scene. So what is your ideal scene? What is your goal? You know, is your goal to be the best shop operator that ever lived? Well, we got some people that aren't auto repair shop owners on this call, very likely. So is it to be the best business owner that ever lived? Well, I will tell you, I don't know about you, but maybe this resembles your day some days. It resembles mine some days, you know, with all the things that we have got to get accomplished and get down pat, become an expert on as a business owner. It is absolutely unbelievable, the list of things for liability purposes, legal purposes, retention purposes, and all the things that make a good business great. We will go to our grave continuing to try to get better. So I don't know if being the best auto shop operator is the greatest goal in the world. I know that that's not my goal. I'll be completely honest with you, because I know for a fact that there's some tough competition out there. These guys here, I don't want to be better than them. I want to learn from them. So you probably know a lot of these people on here if you've been into some of these events with me. Mike Brewster in the upper left, multi-shop operator up in New York. One of his shops, 5 days a week, does $5 million gross sales. Unbelievable. A true operator. Tad down in the lower left, younger guy, multi-shop operator, 2nd generation. Aaron Clements up in the upper right-hand corner, multi-shop operator. His daughter and brother and son-in-law are running his 2nd shop now. I think he may be up to 3 shops. Brian Sump is in the lower right, multi-shop operator in Colorado. And Greg Bunch owns 5 stores in Colorado, and also has a coaching company for multi-shop operators. Unbelievable success these guys have had. No, I don't necessarily think being better than them would be a goal of mine, but being as good as and learning from them is a great goal, isn't it? What about maybe being free of the day-to-day drama. What do you mean drama? There's no drama when you own an auto repair shop, is there? I don't know. When I run an auto repair shop, I get drama all the time. I hope this isn't your drama, but this is a good example of the type of drama we can run into from time to time. So yeah, I don't know, that I think is a good goal. I'd love to be free of the day-to-day drama, the I'm not coming in anymore type phone calls and text messages, and the customers that don't meet our expectations, and employees that don't meet our expectations. That's the drama I'm talking about, and that's a good goal, is to have your operation completely on autopilot to where the people that you pay very good money absorb that drama for you and get the things done for you. So I think that's a good goal. What about to be able to do more of what really matters? I will tell you, here's what really matters to me. My family. My wife is obviously the one I have my arm around. This is my son, Micah. Micah works in one of my stores as an assistant manager. He's been one of the top salesmen in my company for a long time when it comes to service advisors. Him and his wife got married not too long ago. This is my son from Arizona, his wife, their two children, my grandson and granddaughter. And this is my daughter, who's off in college right now, coming back for a few weeks. And in a couple of weeks from now, very excited to see her. But here's the rest of the story behind this picture. Well, here's what you can't see. My family is all together for Christmas, and we have just walked outside of church, and we're in the church parking lot for this photo, and that's what really matters to me, the legacy that I'm going to leave with God and people's lives, and the example that I set for them. So that's what's really important to me. And we went to the dream come true. I was able to fly my family into Orlando, Florida, from all over the country, and have fun at a resort for a week with all of them. I mean, it's just one of those lifelong dreams come true. And this is the photo from day one. Everybody's still smiling and not out of gas yet, so we're all still, but you can tell it's day one, right? It was a 30,000 steps a day type trip, but it was worth it, and we created a lot of memories, fun stuff. So I don't know, maybe being financially independent, maybe that's your goal. What does that take? How much is that? I don't know, $1 million. Remember this guy from from the Mike Myers movie, right? $1 million. I don't know. That doesn't go so far anymore. One of the things that I will tell you is you got to have written goals. Okay, I'm going to give you the old what we call 511. 511 for those millennials. 411 we used to call for information, right? So 511 is too much information. So I'm about to give you the 511. This is a photo for my actual bathroom sink, and as you can see, I've got some goals up on the wall, don't I? Okay, every morning I view my stuff, and if you look right here, one goal you can kind of read, it says they need to hear your story. That was an encouragement. There's a date there written below it. You can't see it in this photo. It's from 2012. It's reminding me that I need to write my book. These are all the goals that I look at every single day, guys. And I will tell you, if you're not setting goals and reviewing them regularly, you're really missing out on at least 10 to 30% more of what you could be accomplishing. So this is a book by Robert Kiyosaki, who you saw in one of my earlier photos. He wrote the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I think he's most known for that book. But Cash Flow Quadrant, this is a series. I don't think I read them in order, because when I found out about the first one, I didn't know there was an order. But in this book, he talked about the cash flow quadrant. And this may be elementary to some of you because you read the book, but this is a good reminder. This is the cash flow quadrant, E being employee, S being self-employed or specialist, right? B being a business owner, and I being an investor. And business owner, I used to think, well, great, I'm already a B when I first saw this. Not really. If I can't leave my business and have it function without me for a long period of time, then I'm still an E or an S. I just might be a good paying E, a good paying S, but I'm not really a business owner yet, am I? And if I'm not able to take the proceeds from that business and invest it in other buckets, then I'm certainly not an I yet. So our goal is to, number one, I'm going to go through quite a few books in this. I'm going to encourage you to take a picture of the screen or write them down. These are books that absolutely changed my financial future. So I want to share these with you. There's a reason why they're up here, but I want to encourage you to always be striving, once you read the book or even from this brief explanation, to go from the left-hand side of the quadrant to the right-hand side of the quadrant. Another great book that I read that helped me understand the different levels of business ownership is Build a Business, Not a Job by David Finkel. David Finkel has a very successful company called Maui Mastermind that I've been a part of for some time. And he talked about there's 3 reasons why we build a business. Number 1, to sell it. Number 2, to scale it. Number 3, to own it passively. And those are the only 3 reasons. Well, even if it's a succession plan to your heirs, you're going to be selling it in some way, shape, or form. Phenomenal book. Great theory of level 1, level 2, advanced level 2, and level 3 businesses. When reading that book, you'll be able to discover what level you are if you're a business owner. And it also starts at number 1, which is startup as well. Another phenomenal book, The Wealthy Code. In this book, George Antone talks about the difference between a job and between wealth, creating wealth. And this is a photo right out of the book. If you look on the right-hand column, if you're a house flipper and that's a one-time kablam, then that's a cash influx of cash. That's really a job, isn't it? That's the way he calls it. If I'm wholesaling properties, if I'm buy, fix, and selling, doing rehabs, if I'm doing foreclosures, flipping, that's really a job. The center column has the own businesses down at the bottom there, in the center. So the funny thing is businesses can be on the far right as well. If you are operating a business and the only one there, and if you leave, the business practically can't operate for more than a day or two, then really what you've got is a high-paying job, not cash flow. So just be aware of that. And then on the far left, he talks about appreciation being a very, very phenomenal tool for becoming rich, but cash flow that happens month in and month out without you having to be much involved is where wealth is created. Okay, so talking about implementation. First step to implementation is discovering what these are and learning about these, education, if you will, so that we can create what we need in our lifestyle without us having to work. Another phenomenal book, Timing the Real Estate Market by Robert Campbell. I'm sorry for the bad photo. He really didn't make it easy for me to even get this photo put up there. But understand, if you're going to be involved in real estate, then you need to understand real estate markets. Because I don't know about you, but I've certainly bought property in certain markets at the wrong time, and it's cost me a lot of money. I've also held on to properties too long in the certain markets, and it's cost me a lot of money. And this book goes through the signs that you can look for when it's time to buy, when it's time to sit on the sidelines, when it's time to trade, when it's time to sell. Phenomenal. He has a newsletter, an annual newsletter a quarterly newsletter that keeps you up to date on what's going on in the marketplace. I know I've already shared these photos, but I wanted to revisit this for just a moment. So why would we take property that we're holding in one community and trade it and go through the hassle, because it's not an easy task to do a 1031 exchange. Why would we do that and flip it into larger properties? It's all about market timing. It's all about understanding the market. We have been doing a lot of 1031ing because we follow the market very closely. We follow people that know the market and the signs very closely. And implementation, not an easy task when you're in your comfort zone to take and switch that over to other properties and communities, long distance, and make those types of moves. The reason for that implementation is really trying to make the most of that bucket so that it can afford to, quite frankly, take care of a part of our lifestyle so that we don't have to continue to work, right? This 32 units we closed on 3 weeks ago in St. Louis. So most of you will know with a glance who this is without even reading the name, Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins has got some great stuff. This particular book I'm going to encourage you to read has nothing to do with rah-rah, motivational, ziskumba, none of that, okay? This is a book about investing. Tony Robbins coaches some of the highest net worth people in the country, in the world for that matter. And what he found out was a lot of those people, although they're very, very good in their business at creating wealth, creating cash flow, They didn't really own the other buckets outside of their business. So this book goes through how to best utilize the other buckets outside your main cash producing assets, such as our businesses for us. And this is a picture right out of his book. One of the things that I got out of this book that sticks with me even today that we annually review is, where do you need to be in order to retire? The bottom, across the bottom, you can see that there's time, and going up on the accumulation phase, you can see is prior to retirement. I'm going to assume everybody on this call is on the left-hand side of that triangle. Some people might be on the accumulation phase, but if you're there, you're only there because during the accumulation phase, you created enough that you could live the lifestyle that you want to live on the decumulation phase, right? That's really what it comes down to. That's all about implementation. So how do you possibly know what you need to retire? It's a moving target, isn't it? Well, if you've never done the exercise of figuring that out, I want to encourage you to figure that out. Figure out what it is that you're going to need to retire so that you can have, again, we're talking about implementation, right? So how do you, if it's a big moving target that you really don't know what the end result is, how do you know when you've gotten there, right? So I'm going to encourage you all. I have a template that I'm going to go over some things right now, but the template is really a memory jogger, very similar to these slides that I'm about to share with you. These are the different levels. If you email me at rob@robrowsell.com, my information will be up at the end of the webinar. I will send you the template that you fill in the blanks, and it automatically adds up these different columns for you, and also goes into more depth than what I have on these slides. But these are the different levels that Tony Robbins talks about in this book. Level 1 is what he calls security. These are your basic needs. This is by no means living a lifestyle that you've worked your whole life for, but this is what you need to survive. So for me, that's tithes and giving back. That's my house, everything involved with my house, utilities, food, clothing, insurance, transportation. And I've given a few examples here. Feel free to take a photo of this slide, but the template will give you more in-depth of what basic is, right? And only you can decide what basic is for you. What can you not live without? Well, I think we all need food and water, and there's maybe left up to interpretation from there. But the next level that he calls about is vitality, which is the next level above basics. That's food, eating out, treating out anytime we want. My parents, God bless them, are no longer with us. But my wife's parents are. And based upon the life that they've lived, it's unlikely that they're going to be able to sustain themselves in the physical needs that they need to be cared for in their elderly ages. And we don't think anybody else in the family is going to have the financial wherewithal in order to assist with that. So that's on our vitality list. Clothing that's above and beyond basic needs. Entertainment that's above and beyond basic needs. I like to go to the gym. I take vitamins for my health. Claudia likes to get a massage from time to time. She does hairdos. I do haircuts, pedicures, manicures. I go with her every now and then. I'll fess up, but mostly for her. I have apps on my phone. I paid for the premium Pandora that cost me $5 a month. That's not a basic need, but we went through, and it's a painful experience at first because we didn't have a template. I'm going to provide a template for you that'll make it a whole lot less painful. But if you are going to live above your basic needs, you really need to figure out what vitality is, don't you? We all do. The next level above that is independence and freedom, also known as high cotton. If you want to live in high cotton in retirement, like hopping on a plane whenever, wherever, without having to give the 14-day notice to save the big bucks, right? I want to get on a plane to go to a graduation. It's last minute. So nobody told me. Boom. I want motorhome travel. You know, most motorhomes get about 6 to 8 miles to the gallon. They drink gasoline. I mean, they drink it. So we want to travel anytime, anywhere. I don't know and we have goals set so we can make that happen. I want to spoil my grandkids. I've been to a few World Series games. That's not everybody's thing, but it's my thing. I would like to go to the World Series now and then. I happen to go to a Super Bowl. I watched Tom Brady get his 5th ring over there in Arizona. Those are just things that I like to do, and I want to still be able to do in my retirement, God willing. God willing, I live long enough, right? Second and third homes. You know, if that's on your list, That needs to be put down, right? You want a beach house? Should be on your list of independence and freedom. Major contributions of philanthropy with time and treasure. Those are all things. He has another level above that, has to do with owning your own jet planes and all that good stuff. Well, that's really beyond us, quite frankly. That would fall under philanthropy for us if we ever get to that level. But the reality is we all need to figure out what our annual cost of freedom is, don't we? Otherwise, you have no idea where you're going. It's kind of like putting on a blindfold and say, I'm going to a destination. So I hope took photos of those slides. I hope if you're interested in going through that exercise that you would reach out to me and allow me to provide that template that will help you memory jog and get through that pretty easily, okay? Additional suggestions. Number one, start a health savings account, okay? You're allowed to put $67.50 in that annually. That number may have changed since I wrote this slide. I don't know. Talk to your accountant. But if you're not going to the doctor for anything other than normal checkups, it's a very high deductible. I go for checkups. I'm fairly healthy. God has blessed me with good health up till now. So I don't need to use that $67.50 annually, but I can take that for both Claudia and I. We can invest that in arm's length transactions and compound it without touching it. So it's a very, very great strategy to be combined with your other Roth IRA or your simple account or whatever else you might have, all in their own buckets, but they can be invested that way. So I encourage you, if you don't have an HSA, get one. Already alluded to the self-directed IRA, preferably a Roth. My theory is you pay your tax on the seed, not on the crop. Pay the tax on the seed, not on the crop, because if it's a tax-deferred plan, you will pay taxes. Does anybody want to guess if taxes are going up or down? Well, they're probably by the time we retire, they're not going to be the same. They currently happen to be the best that they've ever been with the people that are in office. And tax laws have changed every time office has changed, just as a reminder. Other than maybe, I think Gerald Ford was the one that they didn't change. Every other president, taxes have changed. Usually higher, not lower. So right now, with the tax environment we're in, you may want to take your tax-deferred account and pay the cash register and put it into a Roth IRA. Everybody's situation is different. Feel free to reach out to me. I do offer a 30-minute consultation out of this webinar, and I can direct you to the people that are a lot smarter than me that have helped me. And also, if you notice on the right, it says with checkbook control. There is a strategy that will allow you to open an LLC and control your own self-directed IRA with a checkbook without having to go through a whole lot of red tape every transaction. You may want to check into that as well. I can help you and guide you there. So let's talk about a CPA strategy session every July and October. Okay, bookkeeper, CPA, come January 1st, all they're dealing with is history. Once it's history, no changes can be made. You should be having strategy sessions and projections so you can, again, implement strategies that reduce your tax liability, all legal, all legitimate, but if you don't know it's coming based upon projections, then you will not know until you get slammed with the tax hammer right between the eyes come January the 1st or April the 15th in that case. So just know that you should be having a strategy session, not a talk about history. Big difference, right? You should have for any business owner that has any type of assets, a wealth strategist should be on your power team, somebody that you bounce ideas off of, like the first three that I've talked about there as well. Recognize when you have outgrown a member of your power team. Of all the things that cost us money, ignorance is the most expensive. It comes before taxes. It comes before your cost of living. It comes before inflation. It comes before everything. It's ignorance. So when you've outgrown a member of your power team and you don't feel like you're getting the right counsel that you should, it's tough, and it's uncomfortable, but you've got to make a change. And I know there's people that just heard me say that and said, I'm not crazy. You're not crazy. If you're feeling like you're the big fish in someone's client list, it's time to change over to someone else's client list so that you can be getting the proper counsel. That's very, very important. Never hold real estate in your own name. How often? Never. Never, 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 never always use an LLC or a corporation would be my recommendation. Everybody's strategy is different. This is my beliefs, my recommendation. As a matter of fact, you should be holding property in, when at all possible, a property holding or title holding trust. Some states, it doesn't matter because people can see right through it and know who owns it. These are in-depth strategies. Feel free to email me or call me. Shoot me an email. We'll set up a time. We can talk deeper on that. But I don't want everybody, and you shouldn't want everybody knowing what it is that you have on the books for assets. And this, by not having it in a, because people can look up who owns an LLC, right? They can in my state. Continually be developing your financial IQ, classes, and a coach. I will tell you that as far, my book talked about the road to success is a curved road, isn't it? Right? So you don't know what you don't know. We've all heard that before. Until you get to the curve in the road, that's when you need more information. And once you have enough information, where's it going to bring you? It's going to bring you to the next curve in the road, isn't it? And then you're going to need more information. I've continually developed my real estate and also wealth strategies are ongoing, continuing education process. And nobody has arrived. I don't have all the answers. I don't know anybody that claims they do. If someone says they've got all the answers, you probably want to run for the hills, because it's an evolving curved road that you're going to continually, once you're ready for it, if you're searching it out, the information will be available to you. And then accelerated depreciation. We all know that one of the advantages to owning real estate is depreciating it on our taxes. And accelerated depreciation, I'm not going to go into too much depth on that, but if you've got a high tax year that you know you're going to get hit pretty hard by Uncle Sam, you can accelerate the depreciation on all of your real estate assets. It's like an appraisal being done. There's companies that do that, and you can take advantage of the appreciation all in 1 year to offset heavy taxes, or to offset changing your tax deferred IRA over to a Roth. You have to pay the taxes when you do that. Accelerated depreciation is a great tool for offsetting those taxes, so you end up tax-free the year that you make the change. So accelerated depreciation, you want to jot that down for sure. And then last on the list, this is definitely for us business owners, is EPLI insurance, employment practices liability insurance, because it's amazing to me how crazy stuff will come out of the woodwork with such a litigious community that we have, not just in California, but all around the country. It's becoming more and more common to seek out an attorney. An attorney takes things without any type of monetary risk from the person that reaches out to them, and anything can be said, and it costs a lot of money to defend yourself. So you just want to be careful that you've got that in place. Ask your insurance provider about it. If you don't have it, I think you'll find out that it's very, very economical, and it covers you for a lot of stuff. Okay, so that right there should save you a lot of money should it ever come down the pike. And I know if you're like me, you're thinking that you would never need that, because those people that work for you are such phenomenal people, and they are phenomenal people, but we all don't know what the future brings to it. We don't. So, because this is not going to happen, you've got to get uncomfortable and take action. You are not going to get the $1 million check. You aren't going to hit it big at the casino. You aren't going to get the lottery ticket. Hey, hopefully I'm wrong, and you prove me wrong, and you do hit the lottery. But let's just assume that the likelihood of that happening is pretty low, like 1 billion to 1. So we've got to get uncomfortable and take action along the way to make sure that as we go up the accumulation side of the triangle, we're prepared to come down in the lifestyle that we want to live in the decumulation phase of our lives. Is that good, or is that good? Yeah, you bet. That's good. So that's all I have for today, guys. I hope this information is helpful. I hope that you all were able to grab a thing or two out of that. This is my information to shoot me an email for that 30-minute complimentary strategy session, or if you just want to shoot out to me a question, be more than happy to shoot you an answer, and we'll connect some way and maybe possibly set up a time to get together. But that's pretty much all I have today. I hope you found this helpful. And we'll be sending out some invites for some additional information, probably once a month or so, for additional content that we're going to share with you guys. I really appreciate you guys attending today and thinking so much of us that you would take the time out of all of your busy schedules, and really, really do appreciate you guys being here today. So have a great day, and we will talk to you guys soon.